look at a situation where there's a multi-agency joint task force, some sorts of real-time situation assessment, crisis management going on. We're going to assume that we're talking about geographically distributed and managed recruiting enclaves. So each enclave have its own set of administrative services associated with it. There's a large amount of connectivity to other enclaves. Might be through private networks like CIPRNet, or it might be through open networks like the internet. And we have a collection of heterogeneous operating systems, and everybody's going to agree that they're going to use Corba for interoperability. So the question is now what? So just one picture real quick is, here you are in one enclave, you've got your object request broker, and he's mediating accesses between a client and an object server that implements some objects for the clients. That's fine, you're in one place managing your systems, but what happens when we want to connect it? Now I've got two of those, and I have a network. Well, I just told you the Corba specification says the way the two orbs communicate over the network is through this protocol called IIOP. Is that going to be sufficient? What's the security requirements that we have? And how do we control this interoperability so that only the objects that I want to make accessible to a client here are those that are accessible and not all of my objects? So we need some high assurance mechanisms to ensure that the outsiders can interoperate only in the ways that I want to authorize them to. Our first approach looking at the problem is we're going to use the network architecture to ensure that there's non-bypassability. So it's a perimeter defense mechanism that we're going to implement. And we will assume that perhaps inside each enclave, they may have their own sets of mechanisms to restrict access from others within the enclave. So we've really focused our problem on the inside-outside